She said she loved me, but her heart was somewhere else. Months of secrets and lies were hidden in plain sight. How do you move on when the one you trust betrays you? Before going forward in the story, please subscribe this channel and like and share this video. I shall be grateful to you. Now come to the story.
I never thought I'd be the guy writing something like this online. I always read cheating stories and thought, that'll never be me. My relationship with Sarah felt solid, safe, boring in a good way. We had been together for 3 years, and for most of that time, I truly believed she was the one. We met in university. She was in my psychology class, sitting 2 rows ahead of me, always doodling in her notebook. One day, she turned around and asked for a pen, and that was it. We started talking, then studying together, then dating. She had this laugh that made people around her smile, and she was always warm and caring. My friends loved her. My parents loved her. I loved her more than I thought possible. After graduation, we moved in together. A small apartment, cheap furniture, instant noodles for dinner some nights, but it felt like home. We planned everything together. Trips, savings, future jobs, maybe even marriage someday. She used to say, "You're my safe place." I believe that with all my heart. But looking back, the signs were there. I just didn't want to see them. It started small. She became more protective of her phone. Before, she'd leave it anywhere. Now it was always face down, always locked. If I picked it up to check the time, she'd casually say, "Hey, I need that," and take it back. I thought nothing of it. Everyone values privacy, right? Then she started going out more. New friends from work, she said. Happy hours, late dinners, weekend trips with coworkers. I didn't want to be the jealous boyfriend, so I encouraged her. Have fun, I'd tell her. Send me pictures. Sometimes she did, sometimes she didn't. The first real gut feeling came one night when she came home late, smelling like a different perfume. Not her usual one. A sweeter, heavier scent. I asked her about it, and she laughed, saying her coworker hugged her and spilled perfume. I laughed too, but something twisted inside my stomach. A few weeks later, she started texting constantly, smiling at her screen, typing fast, hiding the chat when I walked by. I teased her once, "Who's the mystery person?" She rolled her eyes and said, "Just group chats, stop being dramatic." I wanted to trust her. I told myself I was insecure. I told myself love is about trust. Then came the night everything changed. Her phone buzzed on the kitchen counter while she was in the shower. I wasn't trying to snoop, I swear, but the screen lit up with a message preview. "I miss you already. Today was perfect." My heart stopped. The contact name wasn't a girl. It was a man's name, Daniel. I stood there staring at the screen like it was a bomb about to explode. My mind raced. Maybe it was a coworker. Maybe they just had a good day at work. Maybe I was overthinking. But my hands were shaking when I picked up her phone. She had changed her password recently. I didn't know it, but I knew her too well. Her dog's name, her birthday, our anniversary, none of them worked. I felt stupid trying. Then I remembered something she always joked about, her favorite movie character. I tried it. It unlocked. I didn't go through everything. I didn't need to. I opened a chat with Daniel, and I saw enough to break me. I still remember how cold my hands felt holding her phone. It was like my body already knew something my brain was trying to deny. I opened the chat with Daniel. The first thing I saw was a picture. Not explicit, but intimate enough to make my stomach drop. It was Sarah sitting in what looked like a cafe, her hand on his arm, both of them smiling at the camera like a couple. The date was from 2 months ago. 2 months. I scrolled up. Their messages weren't flirty in a joking way. They were emotional, deep. The kind of conversation she and I used to have when we first fell in love. "Daniel, I feel so comfortable with you. It's crazy how fast this happened. Sarah, I know. I didn't expect this either. You make me feel alive again. Alive again. I kept scrolling. They talked about work, about stress, about their childhoods. She complained about me. That hurt more than anything else. Sarah, he's a good guy, but sometimes I feel like I'm just settling. Daniel, you deserve someone who makes you excited. Sarah, that's how I feel with you. I felt like someone had punched me in the chest. I read messages about their secret lunches, late-night walks, accidental meetings. They joked about how I trusted her too much. Daniel, does he ever suspect anything? Sarah, no, he's sweet. He thinks I'm just busy. Sweet, busy, stupid. The message from earlier made more sense now. I miss you already. Today was perfect. I scrolled further and found out what perfect meant. They had spent the whole day together while she told me she was at a team building event. They planned to meet again the next weekend when I was supposed to visit my parents. My chest felt tight. I couldn't breathe properly. My eyes blurred, but I forced myself to keep reading. Part of me hoped to find something that would prove it wasn't real, some joke, some misunderstanding. There wasn't. I put the phone down on the counter and sat on the kitchen floor. The shower was still running. She was singing to herself, completely unaware that my world had just collapsed. 3 years. 3 years of memories, promises, future plans. And she had been sharing her heart with someone else for at least 2 months, maybe longer. I only saw 2 months because that's how far back the chat history went. I felt stupid. I felt betrayed. I felt angry. But more than anything, I felt empty. When she came out of the shower, she was wrapped in a towel, hair wet, smiling. "Hey," she said. "You're quiet. Everything okay?" I didn't answer. I just looked at her. She noticed her phone on the counter. Her smile faded slightly. "Did you see my phone?" "Yeah," I said. My voice sounded strange, like it wasn't mine. She froze. "Why?" "I saw the message from Daniel." Her eyes widened for a split second, and then she tried to play it cool. "He's just a coworker." I laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was absurd. "You think I'm that dumb?" She sighed and sat on the couch, still in her towel. "Okay, what did you read?" "Enough." There was a long silence, the kind that feels loud. Finally, she said, "It wasn't supposed to happen this way." That sentence still makes me sick. I asked her how long. She hesitated, then said, "A few weeks." I told her I saw messages from 2 months ago. She looked away and admitted it had been longer. I asked her if they slept with him. She didn't answer right away. That was answer enough. She started crying, saying she was confused, saying she still loved me, saying Daniel made her feel something she felt she lost with me. I just sat there, staring at the floor. Part of me wanted to scream, part of me wanted to pack my things and leave, part of me wanted to beg her to stay. Instead, I asked her one question. "Were you ever going to tell me?" She shook her head. That hurt more than the cheating itself.
I didn't sleep that night. She slept on the couch. I stayed in the bedroom, staring at the ceiling, replaying everything in my head. Every laugh, every hug, every time she said she loved me, it all felt fake now. In the morning, the apartment felt different, quiet, heavy, like the walls knew something was wrong. She made coffee like she always did, 2 cups. She handed me one and sat across from me at the small kitchen table. Her eyes were red from crying. "I'm sorry," she said again. I didn't respond. I didn't know what to say. Sorry felt like a tiny word for something this big. She started explaining. She said she didn't plan to cheat. She said Daniel started as just a friend. They worked on a project together, talked a lot, laughed a lot. Then one day he told her he liked her. She said she should have stopped it right there. But I didn't, she whispered. She said our relationship felt comfortable but not exciting anymore. She said she felt bored. She said she missed the feeling of being chased, being wanted. I listened quietly, but inside I was screaming. So instead of talking to me, you went and found that feeling with someone else? I asked. She nodded, crying harder. I know, I messed up. I hate myself for it. I wanted to feel angry. I wanted to yell, but I mostly felt tired. I asked her if she loved him. She hesitated again. That hesitation felt like a knife. I care about him, she said, but I love you. Those words didn't feel real anymore. I asked her if she would cut contact with him. She said yes immediately. She grabbed her phone and blocked him in front of me. She even offered to quit her job. But it felt too late. Trust isn't something you can turn back on like a light switch. That day I went for a long walk. I walked for hours. My phone kept buzzing with messages from her. Apologies, long paragraphs, promises. I didn't reply. I kept thinking about Daniel, about how he got to see a side of her that used to be only mine, about how she laughed with him the same way she used to laugh with me. When I got home, she was sitting on the bed, holding a box. Inside were photos of us, movie tickets, little notes we wrote each other. She was crying again. I don't want to lose this, she said. I sat next to her. I picked up a photo of us at the beach, smiling, sunburned, happy. It felt like a picture of strangers. I told her I needed time. I didn't know if I could stay. She begged me not to leave. She said it was a mistake, a stupid mistake. But mistakes are usually one moment. This was months of choices. For the next week, we lived like ghosts in our own apartment. She tried to be extra kind. She cooked my favorite meals. She hugged me more. She left her phone unlocked on purpose. But every time she touched me, I thought about Daniel touching her. Every time she smiled at her phone, I wondered if she missed him. One night, I checked her blocked list. Daniel was still blocked, but I saw something else. A hidden ending to their conversation that I missed before. He had written, "If you ever leave him, I'm here. I think we could be something real." She replied, "Maybe one day." Reading that broke something inside me that I didn't even know was still holding together. I didn't tell her right away that I saw that last message. I carried it with me, like a stone in my chest. Maybe one day. Those two words kept repeating in my head. It didn't matter that she blocked him now. It didn't matter that she was trying to fix things. At some point, she had imagined a future without me, a future with him. And I was still here pretending everything might be okay. A few days later, she noticed something was different. I stopped hugging her back. I stopped saying I love you. I stopped making plans. One night, she sat next to me on the couch and took my hand. "Talk to me," she said softly. "You're shutting down." I pulled my hand away. "I saw your last message to him." Her face went pale. "Which one?" "The one where you said maybe one day." She opened her mouth, then closed it. She looked like she had no idea what to say. "That was just words," she whispered. "Words matter," I said. My voice was calm, but inside I was shaking. "You were already planning a life without me while living with me." She started crying again. I was starting to hate the sound of her crying. "I didn't know what I wanted," she said. "I was confused. I was scared to lose you, but also scared of missing something else." "So you kept both options open," I said. She didn't deny it. That was the moment I realized how alone I was in this relationship. We talked for hours that night. She told me Daniel was different from me, more spontaneous, more adventurous. She said with me, life felt safe but predictable. With him, everything felt new and exciting. I told her relationships aren't movies. Excitement fades.
What stays is trust and commitment. She agreed, but it felt like she was agreeing because she got caught, not because she truly understood. I asked her a hard question. If you hadn't been caught, would you still be seeing him? She stayed silent. That silence was louder than any answer. The next day, I packed a bag. I told her I needed space. I went to stay with my best friend, Ali. Ali had known both of us for years. When I told him everything, he was furious. She didn't just cheat, she kept you as a backup. That's worse. I tried to defend her, but the words didn't come out strong. Deep down, I knew he was right. While I was away, Sarah kept texting. She sent voice notes crying. She sent pictures of us. She sent long messages about how she would do anything to fix things. But something inside me had changed. I started remembering all the small moments I ignored. Her secretive phone, her sudden late nights, her excuses. I started wondering how many lies she told me that I never discovered. 1 week later, I agreed to meet her at a cafe. Neutral ground. No apartment, no memories. She looked tired, smaller, like she hadn't slept well. She told me she ended things with Daniel completely. She showed me messages where she told him they couldn't talk anymore. He replied that he understood, but he was disappointed. I felt weird seeing that, a mix of jealousy and relief. She asked me if we could start over. Therapy, new rules, total honesty. I looked at her and realized something painful. I still loved her, but I didn't trust her. And love without trust feels like walking on broken glass. I told her I needed time. I didn't know if I could ever forget what happened. She said she didn't expect me to forget. She just wanted a chance to prove herself. I asked her if she would choose me if Daniel was still available. She looked me in the eyes and said, yes. I wanted to believe her. But I also remembered she looked me in the eyes before and said she loved only me.
After that cafe meeting, I felt stuck between two worlds. One part of me wanted to go back. 3 years is a long time. We had memories, inside jokes, future plans. Walking away felt like throwing away a whole chapter of my life. The other part of me kept replaying those messages. You make me feel alive again. Maybe one day. Those words didn't fade. They stayed. I went back to the apartment a few days later to talk again. She had cleaned everything. Our photos were back on the walls. She cooked dinner like she used to. She was acting like we were slowly returning to normal, but normal felt fake. We sat on the couch and she leaned her head on my shoulder. For a second, it felt familiar, comfortable. Then my mind showed me her leaning on Daniel's shoulder in that cafe photo. I gently moved away. She noticed. "Are you ever going to forgive me?" she asked. "I don't know," I said honestly. She started crying again, but this time she looked frustrated too. "I'm doing everything. I blocked him. I told him it's over. I offered therapy. I'm here. What else do you want?" "I want to feel safe again," I said. She didn't know how to answer that. A few days later, something unexpected happened. Daniel texted me. I didn't know how he got my number. Maybe through work contacts, maybe through social media. Maybe Sarah told him during a fight. His message was simple. We need to talk. My heart started racing. Part of me wanted to ignore it. Part of me wanted to see him face to face. I agreed to meet him. We met at a quiet park. He was taller than I imagined. Calm, polite. Not the villain I pictured in my head. "You didn't know she was still with you at first," he said. "She told me things were complicated." I laughed bitterly. Complicated means she had a boyfriend. He nodded. I found out later. I should have walked away, but I didn't. He told me he really liked her. He told me she talked about feeling trapped, bored, unsure about our future. He told me she said I was a good person, but not what she wanted long term. Hearing that from him hurt more than hearing it from her. "She said she might leave you," he added quietly. I already knew that, but hearing it out loud made it real. Then he said something that shocked me. "She came to see me last week." My stomach dropped.
I told you she ended it." "She did. She told me she chose you, but she wanted closure. We talked. She cried. She said she loved you but wondered if she made the right choice." I felt dizzy. He wasn't bragging. He wasn't trying to steal her back. He looked tired, like this situation hurt him too. "I'm telling you because you deserve to know," he said. "I don't want to be part of this anymore." I went home and confronted Sarah. At first, she denied it. Then she admitted she met him. She said it was just for closure. She said she didn't want secrets anymore. But the fact she didn't tell me right away destroyed what little trust I was trying to rebuild. That night, I realized something important. She wasn't evil. She wasn't a monster. She was someone who wanted two lives at the same time and didn't want to lose either. And I was tired of being an option. Okay, here is batch 6, the final part. I'll end the story in a powerful, emotional way, like a real Reddit confession. I didn't sleep after she admitted meeting Daniel again. I lay in bed next to her, staring at the ceiling, feeling like I was lying next to a stranger. She was asleep, breathing softly, one hand on my arm like everything was normal. But nothing was normal anymore. I kept thinking about something Ali said. She didn't just cheat, she kept you as a backup. That thought burned in my mind. In the morning, I made my decision. She was in the kitchen making breakfast. She smiled when she saw me, like she was hopeful again. "Good morning," she said softly. I sat across from her. My hands were calm, but my heart was heavy. "I can't do this anymore," I said. "I can't be in a relationship where I'm always wondering if I'm enough." She started crying instantly. "Please don't do this. I chose you. I told him it was over." "I know," I said, "but you chose him while you were with me. You chose him emotionally before you ever chose me again. And you kept going back, even after you were caught." She tried to hold my hand. I pulled away. "This isn't punishment," I said. "This is me protecting myself." She begged. She promised. She said she would spend the rest of her life proving herself. She said she loved me. I believed she loved me in her own way. But love without loyalty isn't love that I can live with. So, I packed my things. She watched silently this time. No shouting, no begging, just tears. When I walked out of that apartment, I felt like I was leaving a part of myself behind. The next few months were rough. I moved into a small studio. I unfollowed her on social media. I stopped checking her stories. I focused on work, on friends, on healing. But sometimes, late at night, I still thought about her laugh, her jokes, the way she used to fall asleep on my chest. One day, about 6 months later, I heard from a mutual friend that she was dating Daniel. That information didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. It just confirmed what I already knew. She was always looking for something else, something new, something exciting. And I was looking for something stable, honest, real. I don't hate her. I learned that people can love you and still hurt you deeply. People can be kind and still selfish. People can promise forever and still chase a maybe one day. Now, I'm more careful. I value trust more than butterflies. I value honesty more than excitement. And if I ever fall in love again, I'll make sure it's with someone who chooses me, not just when they're caught, but every day.